Test, test one, test two. Hello, everybody. Yep, Sai here, and picking up from last time. I spent a little time off stream re-importing the medium res and low res. I'm not sure why. I just renamed it, re-imported it, and both seems to be fine now. So with that, let's continue modeling and get the low poly in. Um, so yeah, sometimes this happens with your Boolean. It just gets funky shape. And if you go to face mode and select the face, that's what happens. And there's a weird like flip face right there. And if that happens, just I just delete them. Now I got this really funky area right here, which is a single vertex right there. Usually, might as well just delete the top faces as well. And lastly, I usually do a run, maybe cleanup. Because sometimes when I get into that state, there's some weird locked vertices that happen. So if you do select, maybe non-manifold, yeah. So nothing gets selected, so that should be fine. And then you could just continue with a pen polygon. I'm trying to keep all of the horizontal edges just because they kind of add to the slight round silhouette to the shape. So I would prefer horizontal than vertical edges at this point. And for stuff like this, I just round to like the nearest edge, snap to the nearest edge. Once this piece has been merged, I could go ahead and start removing edges that doesn't seem to be adding to the silhouette. This one I have selected right now. I mean, it's not too bad, I guess. We could try deleting that, and then doing an edge flow will kind of make it worse. Do an edge flow first. Nope. Let me see, there was an option to move along normals, which that might be better. Or maybe just insert edge loop maybe. Then I could delete that. I don't like that. Nope. Let's try. I can't edge flow this piece, mainly because it's trying to average between this edge and this inner edge. So you get like this weird like concave shape. I could maybe just delete that, add my own ring, and then just scale it back in place just to round it off. I don't know. I'll come back to that. So since I'm using a sphere for this shape, you can kind of see the polygons get thinner towards the poles. And for shapes like these, I usually, what's my script? I have a script that selects every other edge. So I select one, select every other edge, and then just expand it to the edge loop. I'm gonna deselect these outer edges because I feel like that's kind of helps with the overall silhouette. But as it pinches, as it comes to this point, I usually just delete it. And then for these innermost ones, I just collapse it. Collapse. And then I could triangulate these outer ones and make sure it's spread out nicely. Like, that doesn't matter, but I like to flip it. It kind of helps with the overall shape. So now it doesn't come to a point, it doesn't feel as dense, and it's easier to manage in the long run. Actually, let me just leave it smooth shaded. Got this shape here. I don't know what that bend handle is still there. So just make sure this low poly closely matches the high poly. That bothers me right there, so I'm gonna go ahead and select that. Go to vertices, enable B form, whatever blend does, soft select. And scale it in ever so slightly. Yeah, good enough. Same thing for these smaller gem bolts, since I feel like they kind of add to the silhouette. I'm gonna go ahead and model it in. The silhouette of the medium is in the background. I'm just hide it. Now, gotta decide if I want to keep the little ring inset that these bolts are on. Does that warrant to have its own geometry or not? In this case, I'm gonna say no. Maybe. I'll model it in for now. Let's try it. So again, based on the type of game we're trying to do, third person, fixed camera, whatever, how close can you get to this camera? This is the medium res imported in. You can kind of see the shape of it. So it might not even be worth modeling that in, but I don't know, because without the ring, let me select these inner edges, delete. Alright, so even if I don't model that ring in, this gem bolt needs to compensate that much of the missing geometry. So I could either raise this inner band up a little bit to compensate, which I might. I'll consider it. Not that much. All right. Let's try that for now. So I've scaled that band out a little more, and then made sure the gem it has enough of a lip to intersect. In between these two shapes, it should encompass this ring that doesn't exist in the low poly. And yeah. Now I should have messed with the subdivision before deleting faces, so this might explode. And it kind of does. Can I undo a specific? Nope. Mute. I don't know what that does. Freeze. No. Well, redo it. Make a sphere. Actually, since I use spheres a lot, let me go ahead and set the default. I like either 12, 16, or 24. So let's do, I don't know, 16 by 12 Z up. There you go, just big enough to encompass all of that. Let me gauge its density before actually deleting faces. So you can see it does add to the silhouette, so I'm happy to keep it. This looks like there's a hole right there. Select that. And just, there you go, intersect that a little bit. Going back to this piece, since it's tiny, this could, I don't know, essentially be maybe 12 by, I don't know, 6. Still looks kind of 8 by 4. Yeah, why not? Let's go with that. Take it back. 12 by 5, 6. Alright, let's do that. Yeah. Delete the interfaces, don't need that. So the silhouette from the top, I'm okay with that. This inner ring, that's feeling a little dense, so I'm gonna go ahead and collapse every other edge. Smooth shade, and I am happy with that. Now also during this phase, since, let me say, since I know this is a bolt, not save as E. So since I know this is a a bolt that's going to be used like, you know, this many times on the front and back side. For stuff like that, I usually just I'm not even done with the model, but I would start UV mapping it. So for that piece, I don't know, automatic map. Oh, that's pretty bad. Doesn't matter. Select everything, move and sew the edges, unfold. Yeah, I think just regular unfold, default. Yeah, done. So since I know that one piece is good, I can now duplicate. Doop doop, doop doop, doop doop. So now I know each of these bolts has been UV mapped, and since it's lying exactly on top of each other, it'll share the same UV space. So if you don't mind if each bolt or gem looks exactly the same, there you go. And if you want every other bolt to be different, since it's already UV mapped, you could just select it and offset it. So now if you select all of it, so now you have two sets. One would be, you know, that, and then the other set would be that. So those are your options. I'm gonna just keep it stacked for now. Let's do the little triangle indent. Go ahead and delete half, another half, half of a half. Let's go ahead and just eyeball it. Start down here actually, so yeah, just eyeball all of that, extrude, downward, oh yeah, I think since I've enabled UV editor, now I got red and blue faces. That's because it's all janky, it doesn't exist. But if you hit automatic unwrap, UV automatic, it's all blue now because all the faces exist. But I'm not gonna worry about that yet. To eyeball it. Not sure how I feel about that. hideous, but good enough. Yeah, that'll work. So duplicate, merge, well, combine and merge. And mirror top to bottom. See. Oh, nope, that doesn't work. Since I don't want to worry about UVs yet, I think it's this button here. Shaded, yeah. So this will give you shaded view. So you could tell which faces is backwards or not. Since I mirrored, it's going to be backwards technically, and it's going to show up as red. So I'm just disable that for now. Yeah, just hard shade everything, I guess, just so you can kind of see everything. Alright, next side. Looks like I have a ring here already. 24 sided by 16. I think it matches the same as 24. More or less by 16. But I don't have history on it, so delete. This does 16 sided. Alright, 16 sided. Let's do a torus. Sphere. So do 16 by 12. No, maybe by 8. 8 is fine. Yeah, 8 is fine. Trying to match that noodly shape. 24. Bumped it up to 24. Eight side, I think that's fine. I'm ahead. Shift, yeah, Shifty, duplicate. Again, throw my bend modifier on it. And just bend my noodle until it matches the high res. That'll do. Did I lose my unhide? I did. I don't know what does that sometime, but if you do Shift H and it does an unhide, I believe under display, show all, shows everything. So now I could go back and manually hide stuff I don't want. Ref can get out, medium can get out. Alright, let's try this again. Unhide. So select those interfaces. You can still see the face being selected, so I'm gonna just translate it up just a little bit. So now I can delete. And the same thing for the interface. Grow selection, grow it. One more time. Yeah. So all those back faces not needed. Delete, and I'm gonna just pretty much merge the shape into the sphere, which I believe is 16 sided. Yeah, 16. That should match that. 16. Yeah, 16. Height. Silhouette. I think it's fine. Let me smooth shade it. Yeah, I'm gonna go with it. That's fine, that's fine. So the duplicated torus ring, I still have the history on that, so I'm gonna just reuse the same subdivision and height. Just change the radius. That's almost perfect. Almost. Doesn't have to be 24 sided. Let's bring it down to 16. How much is this small ring? 12 sided. Well, that ring is slightly bigger, so I'm gonna stick with that. Yeah. Delete that. Delete that. So since both that ring and the sphere is 16 sided, all the verts just line up nicely, so that'll be fine. Yeah, now the shaft is gonna go right in there, so that'll be the whole nother shape. We get the same bolts down here, so let's steal one of, what is it? Yeah. Steal one of those. Move the pivot to the bottom just to make it easier to rotate into place. That'll be fine. It should be intersected enough. It is not enough. Now make sure that sphere is big enough to encompass all of that. Let's super close. Let me just take the bottom of that and just just translate it back. I'm gonna freeze transform and move its pivot to the center. Now you just, now you could discrete rotate it, and it should snap at 45 all around. Alright, I think we could go ahead and merge that shape now. So these two pieces should be fine. Merge, bring up the threshold. It should just snap just like that. Now this is going to be the trickier one. Uh-oh. No uh-oh. No uh-oh. Okay, it's fine, it's fine. But this is 24 going to 16. I'm going to go ahead and combine and delete half of it because I know it's mirrored. Actually, since this is yeah, it's mirrored again, I could delete that. And now I only have to worry about cleaning a quarter of it. So with multi-cut, I just roughly make my cut lines. Oh, it's snapping. There we go. Delete that. So I know that line is clean. Close enough. Now I could force this lip to match. Yeah, I could force the lip to go. Yeah, it's easy to start high, which is like 6 edges, down to 4. So by that I mean it's like the two verts. Just merge vertices, merge to center. And same idea. Yeah, I just pretty much collapsing to that one vert. Just move it to the nearest vert. That's close enough. I'm merge that up. Final merge, and I'm okay with that. So now I could mirror it, combine it, mirror in negative X, combine, merge. Sure, smooth angle, smooth everything. You can see some weird shading even if I did smooth all. And that tells me that I missed an edge. So just like that. Fine. Smooth shade again. Looks better. Even if I do a smooth preview, that's another way of kind of checking if I have any missed verts. Alright, that'll do for now. So next. Let's do this cup guard thing down here. We have a spike and another torus. We've done that before, so let's go ahead and steer that. Actually, make it still a lot more than I expect, maybe. So even with anything selected, you could always go ahead and hit insert and move the pivot. So move the pivot down to the base here and scale. Try to scale everything, but no, that's not working. Maybe a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. So scale everything but the spike. Alright, now I want to select same thing, go to, let's see, yeah, vertex, and deselect the inner vert, so I don't want that. So that way if I do the same thing, the spike shouldn't be affected. Okay. Deselect. Alright, now I should be able to scale without affecting the spike. So I'm scaling that maybe like that. Then as for the guard, scale that back down. So I'm pretty much scaling it based on this horizontal line. Since the pivot is on that horizontal line, that's what I'm focusing on. Deselect, and then I can move it to the next horizontal line and do the same. And the last one that flares out a little bit. I could potentially just delete this edge and it'd be fine. Just like that, we have successfully stolen a shape. Now this inner edge of the torus, I could scale that out. That's pretty low poly, but it's that far away on the very bottom. I think it'll be fine. If not, you can just select it, bevel it. Yeah, that's fine. And now I think all that's left is the Hody bit, which is 12-sided. That should be fine. I'm gonna snap the top face to the top, and snap the bottom to the bottom. Oh yeah, I guess a fun fact, if you scale from the center, you know, it'll scale uniformly. If you pick any one of these axes, it'll just be one or the other. but you have these I don't know, sub selecting bits. So this blue one, if you click and drag it, it keeps the same height, but it gets, you know, thicker or thinner. You could have this, you could do the same effect if you control drag any one of the main axes. So same thing. And that's helpful for like if you look at it straight on, this blue little square it's out of view now. You can't select it. So you can just hold Control, click and drag, and it does the same thing as clicking and dragging that little gizmo. So let's start wide. So we add an edge loop right there. Top and bottom of the wrapping. Maybe something like that. Maybe. Yeah, that's fine, that's fine. Add an edge loop there. Since that dips in, I think it dips to there, I think. Yeah, that's pretty much the bottom of it. Another edge ring, just get wide at the base. Do something like that. This might warrant a little indentation, so I'll add a ring above and in the middle right there. Yeah, so that the most tiniest of silhouettes. Let's cap off this cup. So I think this is going from 12 to 16, 12 sided, 16. Yeah, just extrude it inward. That'd be okay. That's okay. What's my front side? Alright, same idea. Holding V, snap to the nearest vert. I do plus and minus X, plus and minus Y, and then everything in between can get rounded to the nearest vert. So that'll be snap. That'll be snapped and collapse. I guess that's it really. That. And then those could be snapped to the nearest vert. Go ahead, combine, merge. Edge gross. Since I have a triangle right there in this weird skewed rectangle, I'll go ahead and just triangulate that as well. And again, that's because it's going from 16 down to a 12-sided, so it just helps it helps spread out the polygons. Be sure to save. And back on the rod. I don't think that's... let's see, what's my low poly? I think it's a subtle enough shape I don't have to model it in. Maybe. Actually, I think I will. This goes in ever so slightly. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine, that's fine. And that's the wrapping. I'm just extrude and there, wrapping thickness. Just enough to encompass it. Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and steal those gems again. So close. Is that good enough? Is it? Is it? I think that might be good enough. Nope. Select those edges and just, there you go, scale it in. That's good enough. Is that it? Do we have a finished hammer? All right. Go ahead and combine that. Duplicate, scale on the negative. Combine. No. Take it back, not yet. Go ahead and select that and shift it. Now when I combine it, yeah, I have both the left bolts and then the right bolts, and then that messes, you know, the center gem. Alright, let me just do automatic smoothing angles. Actually, I don't want to do it on that piece. Alright, delete history, freeze, sure, optimize scene, why not? Oh yeah, so the issue I was having last time with the model kept on overriding itself. Even though it says I have it named as Opal's hammer low. It's pointing towards medium. So if I hit no and hit export again, now it has the correct name and path. So I want to say that's another Maya 2023 bug. Alright, and I believe that is the low poly one. Camera override, there we go. So there you go, that's the low poly. That is a milk crate. Can I pick it up? No, I can't. So, it's the very beginning. Well, not beginning, but the end of the low poly. But the beginning of the next phase, which is normal map baking. So, it looks good. Silhouette looks good to me. And baking would, yeah, give me more normal map information. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, actually we gotta UV map it first. Okay, UV mapping. Let's see. Actually, we gotta. Alright, actually, let's just finish modeling. We gotta combine these two pieces. We'll go ahead and just hit combine. Since the shaft piece is pretty much a nice cylinder, that's pretty much my main, it's my anchor essentially. And it's also 12-sided. So again, it's easier to go from high to low, so we will merge that torus to the cylinder. And that'll just collapse next to it, collapse that. And then make sure I don't mess up or select the wrong one. I do the opposite side of it. And then that leaves the side which should line up just fine. Merge. Now if you hit 3, which is smooth preview, I have no funky or hard shaded edges, so I'm assuming all my polygons are combined and it's fine. Alright, now I get to decide how much I want to mirror, if any. So for lower end games and such, even when I was modeling it, I could essentially delete 3/4 of the model, bake and just texture this 1/4 of it, and then just mirror it in the UV space for the rest of the areas. But I mean, we don't have to go that low poly, so I think everything minus the bolt gems. There. I say everything selected could be mirrored in texture. I think that'd be fine. And I think these are the same too. Well, let's do this piece first. That looks super easy. Just do UV planar on the X. Let me save. I want to go full screen, but I think it might crash. Think it might crash? Want to bet? Let's bet. Full screen. I failed. It crashed. Yeah. Thanks, Maya. So, I gotta figure that out. Maybe deleting user preference might help. It might have brought some funkiness over from the previous Maya version. Just do that, I guess. It's so tiny. There we go. Anyway, we selected the faces, we did play in the map, and that's how it looks. And then just unfold it. Done. Move that aside. Show everything. Let's do this cherry on top. I'm gonna hit automatic. Kind of see what pieces I have to mess with. So I like to UV map by separating pieces by natural seams. And what that means is, select the high poly. So visually you can kind of see there's a, if I could select. So you got the top spike, and then you get the torus, and then a sphere. What's my model? Good. You can kind of see there is a natural seam, a hard edge, intersecting pieces right there. So same for the low poly. I would UV map it, but make sure my seam lies where the natural seam would lie as well. So we could take the spike. Let's combine, not combine, merge. Merge and sew. Merge and sew. It's at the top. Now that I'm looking at it, it bothers me because it's 6, not even 12. So I'm gonna go ahead and collapse that down to 6. That's fine. And then I'm gonna select those edges, cut, and then I could just sew it to the tip. There we go. So I want, probably triangulate that too. I want the seam to line the front, so I'm gonna cut that and move it to the left side. And now you got this piece. That's fine. Just weird shading, which a normal map should help. Get rid of that. Delete history. Yeah. Save. Save constantly. So next piece is this donut. I wish I could get rid of everything on the side. Can I undock? No. Alright, whatever. Select the donut. Yeah. Cylindrical. So I could unfold vertically, unfold horizontally, under unfold, straighten UVs, done. So I know the rest is that sphere. Ooh, and the torus. I would probably do the same thing. Cylindrical. Rotate that. Make sure the seam's in the front or back. I mean, both sides are the same, so just pick a side, front or back. I feel like mostly you're gonna see by the sides. Let's see. See from the side as you're swinging it, mostly side, you know, whatever. So putting the seam in the front side or whatever back side, but it doesn't matter if you flip this hammer in your hand. So just pick a side is what I'm saying. So I know there's a natural seam right here. Selecting those edges. Shift right click and cut. Now I'm also going to rotate it because I know this Taurus is on the bottom. There we go. So same thing, unfold Y, not Y, V, unfold U. You could try to straighten it. Yeah, looks like that's fine. Try to straighten that. Now, sometimes you get stuff like that, and it's because I have a try. So if you unfold on a U, yeah, so if you unselect the edges, so now it acts like an anchor, and then you could unfold everything inside of it, and it'll fix it up. So same thing, select that, unfold U. Good enough. I know I haven't messed with textile rates and UV textile density, but that'll come later. I usually do automatic, just so I can see what I'm messing with at a glance. So I know those are the front and back faces. So since I know there's a natural seam right here, I might just try to combine everything on these pieces. Like that. So all that would be a nice seamless piece, and I can hide the seam back there. So let's roll with that. Back and front is done already. I am gonna use a cylindrical map for the rest of the pieces. And since this does have a top and bottom, the seam's gonna be on the bottom. Done. Easy. Now to give it some breathing room, I could select those edges, these inner edges, which takes forever to select. And that's because I have tries. So I'll select those, cut, that should come apart, that should come apart. Aha. Cut. Yeah, so it's the center. And then last that. So same idea. Since that's the ring, so it depends if you want to separate it from here as well. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it connected, just unfold it so it'll show itself. So that might be fine, but usually since I don't think it's yeah, it's not exactly 90 degrees, so it should be I think it'll be fine. This piece, just to unfold U, no change, so that's fine. I will rotate it though. Yeah. That's actually the back. So that's the front, middle, back. Delete history, save. Alright, what we got? What's next? Let's do... Let's do the bottom guard. Same thing, since we copied that spike from above, gonna have to do the same thing and collapse the bottom few edges. Cut the tips. So I pick what side is the front or back. Select everything but that, but the tip, and just merge. So if you see my mouse spazzing out like that, it's not too much. I'm holding shift right click to unfold it, and then shift right click, optimize. And that'll give you the shape there you go, yeah. Alright, same thing, that is a cylindrical in the back. Unfold on the X and straighten UVs. Yeah, that's fine. That's good enough. This is a freebie from Automatic, which leaves the rest. You could either cylindrical map it or just planar. I'm going with planar. Planar on the Z. It's red, so we gotta flip it. There you go, done. Next. Might be an easy piece, just cylindrical map it. Looks like I chose that for the seam. Unfold into Y. There's a natural seam here, so I'm gonna just cut that. I might be able to straighten it. Yeah, it's good enough. Actually, I take it back. Just combine it. Yeah. All one piece. That's fine. Makes me wonder if I could do the same down here to save on UV islands. Let's try it. That is these two pieces. These two pieces. Same thing, cylindrical. Pick a direction for your seam. Nope, I messed up. Cut. Just move that over. Yeah, that's a little cleaner, I think. Nice and squared. I'm gonna roll with that. And last piece. That'd be easy. Cylinder. Now I will separate the wrapping from the main pole piece, so that way the wrapping I could double its scale and just give a slight more detail for that wrapping bit, just so the baking would pick up more of this thinner details. And is that it? Alright, I guess we're done-ish. Alright, now I guess the next topic would be textile space. So, textile space, it's how much pixels your texture takes up in 3D space, I suppose. I guess an example could be who can we pick on? Let's pick on this piece. Step into the light. I think that's too much light. Let's go outside. Ooh, up there. Yeah, let's go upstairs. Sure, let's pick on you. Might be too much light actually. Wood. Alright. Texture space, textile space, UV space, scaling, all that good stuff. Let me see, is that a good example? Probably not. In short, you don't want to have one piece to have too much detail compared to another. So I'm trying to think of an example to show you that's wrong. And I don't want to mess. Yeah, I got it. Duplicate. Now I could mess it up. So if I combine it all, single piece. So if I select everything and then just hit, what is it? Map size, set. So I'm gonna force each of these shells to be at least 5.12 pixels per meter, if I remembered how that works out. So if I do set, alright, that's pretty bad. Well, that's bad. So that's good, but the bad thing is it takes the shell, each shell has a center point. So if it's trying to scale everything uniformly in relative to each other, it's going to scale from its center. So when I hit this button, that's why it looks like it's all over the place. You can kind of bring it together by doing layout UV. Let's reset it. We do not want to rotate. That. Sure, padding, no. 4, top, sure, 4. Layout. So if you can see my grid, this bottom left is 0, top right is 1. So that's my 0 to 1 texture space. It just automatically did its best to pack it within that space. Now if I hit this button again, set. Well, I guess before I do that, texel space, texel density. So everything right now is uniform. So an issue is if you have one shell bigger than the other. I'm gonna minimize that. What's my strap? I want to get that strap, this piece. Let's just double that in size. Yeah. Alright, so something like that. So if I export that, low poly, low, yes, yes. Let's find that hammer again. It's the light outside. Infinite, that's just black. You know what? I guess that'll be fine. That's fine. That's fine. That can go away. So if I do, see, let checkered floor. Duplicate. I'm gonna turn off triplanar for this piece. Alright, so here is the issue with that. I need better lighting condition. Hold on. This looks a little more neutral. Good enough. Okay. Alright, so here is an issue. My material, tell me I have, yes, tiling. So I'm gonna crank the tiling, I don't know, by 4, sure. Let's go a little more, 8, tile by 8. Alright, so now I can see the issue. At a glance, everything in the center and the back looks pretty uniform, but the front looks huge. It's not as much texture reserved for that piece. And then since we gave the wrapping twice as much space, it looks extra small. So yeah, the straps have twice as much texel density. So if you ever get this close to the strap, it has more texture reserved for it, so it'll look crispier at this distance. So now the head of the hammer, it's going to be lower res because there's less space reserved for it, because we gave it, I think it's that piece right there. Yeah, so it's smaller, it's going to get less texel. So texel density, it does its best to kind of make sure every piece is the same scale in relation to each other. So now if I export that, it should look uniformly across the entire model. And I'm gonna bump up the tiling to like, I don't know, 32. So at a glance, it looks pretty uniform. You can get some weird warpage in the spherical areas, but that's just because that's the nature of that shape. It's going to be stretching no matter what. Alright. How long have I been going? Because my throat's getting raspy, because I'm in the Seattle area and there's smoke outside and my throat hurts. Let's end it by doing a quick bake. So let me delete that. It's my original Opal. Oh, I guess another issue, well not issue, but when I hit layout, yes, it laid everything out in the grid, but it also, all of my bolts that was stacked on top of each other, it's, you know, it's been laid out, so each bolt has its own unique textile space now. So if you want that or not, up to you. I don't want that, so I'm gonna just undo it. I'm gonna select those bolts, just move it out of the way. I'm gonna deal with those later, I guess. So that is the top rings, and then those are okay. That's fine. That's fine. So everything else, I will. Yeah, that could probably be laid out. Layout. No, not layout. I don't want that. Think what I want. All right. Because I know these pieces is the hammerhead. So if you do layout, you can kind of see it just puts it wherever. So that's why I like to manually just hit that button, set. So each shell in relation to each other should have the same scale. It should have the same texture density at that point. But I will manually decide where to go next to each other. It's ample bleed edge right there, so I guess another thing is this number, map size. Based on a 2048 texture, 5.12 pixels in relation to 2K is this size. So if I change it to a 1024 texture and do the same thing, set, it'd be slightly bigger. So let's go with that. I feel confident fitting all of this in a 1K map. And you can confirm by doing layout, I guess, and then set. Alright. Yeah, okay, yeah. I think that's fine, that's fine. bottom left. I believe that's the handle. I'm gonna scale it up a little bit. It's like I said, I want to give. Actually, no, not all of it. I want to give the wrapping a little more textile density. I can probably move that down here. Just judging by this already, I think this might be maybe 512 by 1024. So let's try that. It's my middle 0.5. Oh, that might be pushing it. Big pieces gets priority. I'm gonna go ahead and scale that down a little bit. Actually, scale that down. Straight. Goes to the hammerhead. Scale that down ever so slightly. What is that piece? Ring. What's that? Ooh, that's a side ring. That feels pretty important. I'm gonna scale that up a little bit. And that's the inner, the bottom. Scale that down. That's not that important. That's a spike. That's the top. Give that a little more. Might be it. So those are the rings. Let me do set. So actually that's small. Yeah, plenty of room. That's not on top of each other no more. So I'm gonna select one, shift select to select everything but the one. I think I forgot how that works. Maybe select it all, I don't remember. And do modify and match UVs. And it does its best to snap to the nearest UV. Just gonna bring up the tolerance a little bit. 0.05. There we go. There you go. I want to say I'm okay with that. Not combine? No. I think that's fine. Delete history. Export selection. I think that's a hero prop. Make a new folder. Opal's hammer. Opal low. So that's a high res. UVs doesn't matter. We'll select that. Export. No, not that one. Not game export. Regular export. Opal high. Launch Steam. Go to Substance Painter. Launch and hope my computer doesn't crash. Driver issue, I'm gonna continue anyway. Alright, Painter. Do new. Oh, that should be fun. Toasty project. No, not project, source. Hero props, hammer low. I think that should be fine. Hit OK. So this is a low poly. Go to bake mesh maps. 1K. High poly. High. I don't have a cage, so we'll see how that turns out. I always like bumping that up to 0.055. Yeah, let's do low anti-aliasing for now. Suffix underscore low underscore high. I don't remember what I did. Underscore low underscore high. That should be fine. I don't know if it's case sensitive, so I'm gonna just do that. So that should be fine. ID. I'll save that for the next stream. But everything else should be fine. Just hit bake. Bake. And just like that. There is, yeah, the initial bakes. So that looks stretched because it's just baking onto the hammer surface itself. It doesn't have geometry. I'm surprised these look just as good without having geometry. And that, I think that could be fixed by making a custom cage. So yeah, let's just throw something on there real quick just to see how it reacts to it. Let's do iron. Let's go pure. How about rusty? Metal. Let's do that one. paint. So yeah, you kind of see a weird seam right there. Oh, I guess that's another thing. I don't remember if I smooth shade, hard shaded or not. Yeah. We just smooth shade everything. Game export. No, export. Now under edit, project configuration, select your low poly again. Yes, rebake. Now bake. I'm gonna bump up the resolution for now. And bake. So yeah, so that edge works a lot better now. Let's go back to shiny. Alright, I think that'll be a good stopping point for now. I'm surprised how good that turned out for being just a flat cylinder pretty much. Alright, I will leave it at that. We will continue. You need to do a few more low poly tweaks. Maybe offset some mesh, explode the mesh before we bake. Maybe a custom cage file to help with these like bake spills. Actually, let's try something real quick. Bake map. Let me lower that to 0.01 and bake. Oh my god, that worked. That's a little bit funky there. That looks really nice. Well, I guess there you go. I guess my search radiuses was a bit too much. You see some weirdness right there? I still think a cage file will help that. Alright, we'll leave it here for now. Next time would be, actual texturing, painting stuff. And yeah, I think that'd be it. So, until next time, this was Sai. And yeah, tune in next time for some more modeling tips and stuff for real time. Until then, have a good night.